Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna do a manga review, and this particular manga right here was done and edited by an artist named Silrance, as you can see right here. Silrance, Silrance. That's a story and art by this particular artist, and the name of this his manga, is Lsftl. Love sucks for these losers. So yeah, this is a great manga. I really like how he utilizes some of the typical manga art and concepts that you see typically, right, in Asian culture. But then he kind of weaves that in with up to date issues and things that are happening in the U.S. today, in a lot of, unfortunately, and maybe fortunately, but in a lot of public schools, high schools that you see today in the U.S. And yeah, this is volume one. But yeah, it's really good. So if we read the back of the book, so we follow these teens, right? These high schoolers, and they go to a fictitious high school, obviously, right? Orinja Creek Senior High School is the name of the school. Orinja Creek Senior High School. And it reads, there are adolescents who possess E-cell, which stands for mutant energy cells, uncanny powers that allows them to manipulate the powers of nature, time, space, which is being highly monitored by the school board for hidden purposes, right? So meaning we don't know why they are monitoring these different people, these different students and things of that nature. You know, we don't know why right now, but hopefully at some point we will. So we follow the main character is Jay Parker, right? 16-year-old, junior 11th grade. He has a sister, and as in typical fashion, he has his boys. You have your certain clique of people that you run with, and so nothing's different for Jay. He has a sister, a younger sister. She's like 14, but she acts as like his mom or a mother figure. And that's kind of a thing that we see, even here in the U.S., but also, in Asian culture and in a lot of mangas. The younger sister is sometimes like the motherly type. So there's a transfer student, same thing. We see this all the time. Transfer student named Tori, and she comes in, and as in typical fashion, people want to know her. They want to get beside her, see what's up with her. And she's like, this beautiful chick that everybody wants to get with, right? So in Orinja Creek Senior High School, the high school is a little bit different. The high school is basically a high school that they promote violence, or they actually promote they have their clubs in these high schools, right? So in a lot of Asian culture, because they spend a lot of time in school, 12, 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. Clubs are huge in high schools over there, right? So he brings the artist Silrance brings this into his manga of today, and you'll notice that there are different fight clubs. This is a school for fighters, fight clubs, as well as some art clubs and swim clubs and things of that nature. But clubs are really huge, so that's something that over here in America, we're not necessarily that used to as far as actual clubs that students are a part of. So anyway, he has his boys, and they do what teens do, what a lot of teens do. They are rebellious. A lot of them, a lot of his boys, as well as Jay, they smoke weed. one of his boys, he likes to drink liquor, right? And I forgot the name. There's a real unique name that he calls the liquor, or the lick, right? That he likes to drink. But in typical fashion, right? There's always a bully. You know, you always have a bully in every school. And so Jay basically is just trying to skate by. You know, he's just not really interested in what's happening. He only hangs out with a certain group of friends, his boys, and that's really the end of it. I like also how the artist sets up the different cliques in schools, you know. So you have your emo type clique, just like in any high school. You have your bad boys. And, you know, Jay says, hey, follow me. I'm kind of by myself, or a loner. You know, you have your, as he would call them, hoes or sluts. You have that. So, you know, you have your dope heads, people that smoke weed or whatever. You have your jocks. You have all that, right? So all this is involved in Lsftl. So, you know, as I was saying, there's a transfer student, and Tori, you know, she comes to the high school from a different one, obviously. So, you know, they tried to impress Tori, who's the exchange student. So, as I stated before, you know, there's always a bully. He comes up and basically kind of disrespects Tori, and Jay is you know, just trying to, I won't say necessarily defending her honor, but, you know, just was letting them know, hey, that's not appreciated. Long story short, they get into a fight, basically over the exchange student. And keep in mind that there are certain people or students that have these Lsftl, which will allow for special abilities. And so the bully, which he's the highest ranking in the school as far as being fight ranking or fight points, he's the highest ranking. So basically, Jay defeats the guy, you know, and everybody is like, what is going on? How's this kid that no one knows what's happening, what's going on? How is he able to defeat the bully? And it kind of goes on from there. So, you know, I don't want to tell you guys necessarily everything, but it's really good. So, what I really like about what Lsftl does is he lets you know that he brings in characters from other anime, as I stated a little bit earlier, and that's really cool. You know how he does that, how he basically makes the reader well aware, like, hey, I know some of these guys look like some of the anime characters. He's actually giving homage to the previous anime and manga characters that he liked and that he possibly liked in the past. So that's really cool. And also the main character, Jay, and as well as his boys are kind of in on the secret, meaning that this is a story being told and they're in on it. And so you would see reference to the character saying, hey, hurry up, we gotta get to chapter 2. Or, hey, come on, let's finish this up so we can get to chapter 3. You know, quit wasting our time. Let's go ahead and get to chapter 4, what have you. So that's really cool. It kind of keeps the reader involved in it. Like, oh, okay, they're actually talking to us. And it gets kind of funny later on in the manga where Jay says something kind of to himself and to us, the reader. And Tori is like, what? Who are you talking to? He's like, oh, yeah, forget about it. Don't worry about it, you know. And she was like, well, now your boy said something similar to what you just said. Like, there's a story or something going on. He was like, you know, and Jay was basically like, yeah, don't worry about it. He, you know, nothing to see here, right? But basically, we see a lot of these characters that you know, they're trying to increase their fight points. And what we find out is that Jay is super strong. What also we find out is that his sister may be as strong as Jay. She's extremely strong as well. There's a scene where she's fighting multiple guys here, and his boys, Jay's boys, are like, "Hey man, aren't you concerned? Your sister's getting ready to fight like 5 of these dudes here, And Jay's just real simply like, nah, I'm not worried about it. She's strong. She's good to go. This is his 14-year-old sister. So that's pretty cool because his boys are like, are you serious? These are like 16, 17-year-old guys, right? Like what in the world? You're not concerned whatsoever, and he's not really concerned. So yeah, I mean it's very good. It's a very well written manga, and I like how Sirance just introduces the characters. I like how he pays homage to the previous artists and manga and anime that he liked in the past, he watched in the past, so that influenced his drawings and his storytelling currently. Very good. I like how he introduces that, makes light of it, makes fun of it, but goes ahead and basically talks about the elephant in the room, right? So he goes ahead and he talks about that, and that's really good. For example, like in chapter 5, you see, a play on Starbucks, but Dragon Ball Z, Star Balls, coffee, there's a play on that. There's also a play on Naruto, where this kid that's basically monitoring all the students goes into a forest where a tree is, and we know Naruto is there, with Naruto. We see that similarity where, this kid goes into a tree, goes down into a tree, a hidden layer, and basically gives his recordings to the principal, to the vice principal, and things of that nature. Also, there's a tournament that happens yearly. There's like a yearly tournament where it's a fight tournament. And at this fight tournament, the kids is posed or presented to the kids as if this is a tournament. You win something great. You have the honor of being the strongest at the school. You can represent your school, your club, etc., etc. But what we find out in reading further into the manga is that it's really all a hoax to see who's the strongest candidate or candidates that have the E cells, or this mutant power, where you can control, like I read earlier, time, space, or any of the elements. And we notice some of this when Jay is actually fighting. He's like super fast, and people are, they're trying to hit him, beat him up, but they can't get a hand on him because he's super, super fast as well as super strong. So that's real good and real interesting there. But so basically, as the manga ends, this is once again just volume 1. As the manga ends, we see Jay bring out his E-cell powers to the maximum, right? And he brings it out to the maximum, and it's like a tornado comes from nowhere and just basically destroys everything. He's letting loose his powers, so to speak. So that's pretty good. Also, there's a character. there's this kind of a funny little break. There's a character who's a crackhead, obviously, and it's posed after Dave Chappelle's character Tyrone. So the artist actually pays homage to Dave Chappelle, and his character is actually Tyrone Chappelle. So it's pretty cool. You also notice the mixture of technology as well as kind of an old school Japanese eatery, if you will. That's there as well. So the teachers are obviously in on it, and and it's real good. They're all looking out for the students that have these special abilities. So the artist does a great job of describing the different cells. And you have your three basic or your three mutant cells, or your three E cells, right? Natura cells, sight cells, and trans cells, right? So your Natura cells, that's your nature, earth, water, fire, air. And that's what we see Jay, he has that ability. Your sight cells, you could basically control the minds, if you will, manipulate time, space, and vibrations, right? That's what you have if you have those cells. Trans cells, you can transform. So it's real good explanation of the different E cells, and how I like how the artist is basically setting up this universe, or this world for us to kind of live in, where he's letting you know that he's paying homage to the anime and the manga of the past, but he's also introducing his own universe. So that's real cool. I like that. So that was that's pretty much it. I definitely would say, please buy the manga, Lsftl, Love Sucks for These Losers, Volume 1 by Silverance. Very good. I thought it was very well done. It kept me engaged. So I look forward to Volume 2 and finding out what happens later on as Jay progresses and starts to show more and more of his E power, his mutant cell power. So yeah, please pick up the manga. You can get it from Amazon. That's all I did. I went and found the artist, and then I went ahead and bought the manga off Amazon, and I like it. It's very well done, very well written. Go ahead and pick it up whenever you can.